Breaking news overnight, police have captured the suspect in the targeted shooting of two Democratic lawmakers and their...
I hope they talk about how much of a fucking loony leftist he is, right? Because that's what they've been telling us. That's what they've been telling us. Jessica Tarkov retweeted your post. Which one?
Spouses. Vance Belter, 57 years old, is charged with killing Minnesota's former Speaker of the House, Melissa Hortman, and her husband.
This one?
And then wounding another legislator and his wife in separate attacks.
Jessica Tarkov, my queen. Jessica Tarkov, my queen? Jessica escaped from Tarkov of Fox 5 fame? Wait, she follows me? I didn't even realize. Oh, this one. There's no need for the CIA or NATO to do sophisticated influence campaigns and false flags anymore. Half the country literally believes this. The evangelical mercenary Trump supporter who shot Democratic politicians and had more on his hit list is actually woke because of this website. Jessica Tarkov follows me? We got to have her on the broadcast now. That's a moot. That's a Twitter moot now. Jessica Tarkov is a Twitter moot. Our queen. Our queen. God, we're so fucking lame. This community is the only community on the planet that gets excited about fucking Fox News reporters. Wait, I want to hear Fox News coverage on this.
This wooded area, he now faces both federal and state charges, including murder and also stalking. Prosecutors say that he really carefully planned these attacks. He did a lot of research. He had information about them and their family members and even stalked out their homes for days prior to all of this. Sean, officials here in Minnesota say this was by far the largest manhunt the state has had in its history.
All right, Brooke in California, thank you so much for that. Minneapolis, rather, thank you for that update. Now to the unrest in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, quick update. That's how you know he's a right-winger, bro. That's how you know. That's how you know he's right-wing as fuck. Minor update on the guy who shot a fucking Minnesota Democratic state legislature lawmaker. Moving on. Nothing to see here. Wow.
This happened early Saturday. Lilia Luciano is in Minneapolis for us. That is where Belter is being held this morning. Lilia, good morning to you.
That's right, Tony. Good morning. Last night, during a press conference right after his arrest, officials told us that Belter was taken into custody without incident. That means that neither the suspect nor police were hurt, even though they say he was armed. They also found in one of the abandoned vehicles he left behind a list of possible targets, including abortion clinics, advocates, and politicians beyond Minnesota.
After a two-day manhunt, 2 sleepless nights, law enforcement have apprehended Vance Belter.
This is Vance Belter, flanked by Minnesota state troopers immediately following his arrest. The pursuit for the fugitive ended in a field in rural Sibley County near his home, about 45 minutes southwest of the Twin Cities. Police say...
So when Luigi Mangione shoots the UHC healthcare CEO, instantly, insta-lock terrorism charges. The federal government is entertaining hitting him with the death penalty. Allegedly, right? Allegedly. But when Vance Belter, not allegedly, but literally fucking shoots and kills a Democratic lawmaker, no terrorism charges? No fucking demands from Pam Bondi for hitting the death penalty? What is going on here? I'm willing to bet if an actual Antifa shot and killed like a Republican politician, they would very quickly demand the death penalty. This motherfucker had a hit list. Wow. Politicians don't even care about self-preservation anymore. Like, they don't even entertain the notion of like defending the rule of law against politicians, like simply out of self-preservation that like if these guys don't get hit with the book, like they might be next, you know? Under normal circumstances, that's what you would expect from even Republicans to be like, this is unacceptable, heinous crime. Nowadays, nope. Your whataboutism is really strong. 0351 Marine, my whataboutism. If one is a political murder, why is the actual assassination of politicians not considered a political murder to invite more chaos, create more copycats, and also, like, I'm confused. Do you think that's a whataboutism, or do you think that's a direct analogous situation? Don't Google what whataboutism is. Oh, definitely needs to be looked into. Can't jump to conclusions. Thanks, man. 0351 is infantry, by the way. Literally dumb grunt. Yeah, no, he spat out the crayon when I noticed him. He spat his crayons out. Hey, shouldn't you be getting fucking deployed to defend Israel right now? What are you doing? What are you doing in the chat? Go eat your steak and lobster. Surf and turf for you. Just kidding. He's not gonna have fun in Iran. He's probably having fun in California right now. He's being deployed. And there it is. My MOS doesn't exist anymore. I don't care. I'm joking. You fucking dummy. There it is, dude. There it is. My MOS doesn't exist anymore. They don't even make my favorite color of crayon. My favorite flavor was a specialty one. You knock all military like this? Why, you think that members of the armed services should be treated like special class status? Is that what you think? Are you going to cry in here? Are you going to tell me that you went and you fucking, I mean, you probably didn't even tour, but let's say you did. Are you going to tell me that you went on active duty? I saw combat. You knock all military like this? I knock everybody like this. Yeah, it's a Twitch stream. What are you going to do, cry? You put it in your fucking username, yeah. If you can't shit, get off the pot. Soldier. Get off the latrine, soldier. You are dismissed. Nothing you're saying makes sense, dude. Not a lot makes sense to you, I know.
A car linked to
Marines
Belter
aren't
found
soldiers. You're gonna trigger him? I know. Nah, this one is a soldier.
abandoned in the area, and a tip from a resident prompted SWAT teams to the field. After evading arrest for 43 hours, what they call the largest manhunt in the state's history was finally over. I think people are shocked to learn that he was armed and was arrested unscathed. Why do you think that was?
To arrest him without any use of force, and that he gave up voluntarily without us getting into having to use force. No police officers were injured. I couldn't ask for a better ending.
I can't believe that the cops also reported that they saw him shoot, and they just kind of let him do it at first. Oh, come on, man. Give me something good. I want to hear more from this guy. He's pretty funny.
To a really difficult, traumatic incident.
Belter is accused of shooting and killing Democratic State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark on Saturday, and seriously injuring.
Tasty. Yummy. Yummy. Too many flavors. What is the ADHD thing? I'm a Marine with ADHD. I have executive functioning disorder. Too many decisions. I can't figure out which flavor I want. Maybe 2 at a time. The opportunities are endless. You are bullying a neurodivergent Marine, sir. I will let you know.
State Senator John Hoffman and his wife in what the governor called a politically motivated attack.
This cannot be the norm. It cannot be the way that we deal with our political differences.
Investigators say security video from the Hoffman home shows the suspect wearing a face mask while posing as a police officer that he shot the Democratic lawmaker at around 2 a.m. Saturday. Then at around 3:30 a.m., officers checked on Representative Hortman's home as a precaution about 9 miles away. That's when they say they witnessed the suspect shoot and kill Hortman before exchanging fire and escaping on foot. Police say Belter left behind an SUV disguised with police lights and markings. Inside, they say they found at least 3 assault rifles and a handgun. There was also a list of more than 50 possible targets, including lawmakers and abortion rights advocates and clinics.
Yes, they saw him kill her. Yeah.
This afternoon, Belter will go before a judge. He's facing 4 counts, 4 now, of second-degree murder and attempted murder. If found guilty, each of those carries up to 40 years in prison. Gail?
Such a senseless tragedy. Lily, thank you.
Images show the tools prosecutors say Vance Belter used in the deadly rampage he planned for months. Firearms, ammo, a hyper-realistic silicone mask, and notebooks filled with scribbled notes and...
Okay, I wouldn't go that far. As far as hyper-realistic, I wouldn't say it was a hyper-realistic mask. It was a fucking very
lists of
creepy
targets,
one.
including many Democrats.
His crimes are the stuff of nightmares. Belter stalked his victims like prey.
And in another disturbing twist, officials today said Belter didn't just target 2 lawmakers that morning.
Belter went to the homes of 4 Minnesota state politicians with the intent to kill them.
Belter was arrested Sunday night after the largest manhunt in Minnesota history.
You saw him in this grass?
Yeah. Wendy Thomas believes she saw Belter in the hours before his arrest, saying she was leaving a friend's house when she...
I don't get it. Why is this second degree? Is there like something in the Minnesota? Sometimes states have different determinations, but I don't understand why they would give second degree to premeditated murder. Does that mean premeditated murder in Minnesota? Oh, this is federal charges? I mean, easier to convict. You need a grand jury to indict him first? Oh.
She spotted a man in dark clothing crouching in this field. She called her dad, initially thinking it was law enforcement.
And I'm like, oh, they're clearing properties. So that's what I figured it was. And then the more my brain registered, I'm like, Dad, there's only one person. There's no vehicle. And then I started freaking out. And Dad's like, you need to get out of there. You need to call somebody.
Thomas says that's when she waved down police.
So I waved my arms and I flagged him. And he's like, is everything okay? And at this point, I'm shaking. And I said, no, there's a person. I saw a person. And as I was leaving the driveway, you could see him squatting in the culvert. And I started pointing. I'm like, there he is, there he is.
Belter made his first court appearance today. He's facing a litany of charges, including murder. Some of the federal charges could be eligible for the death penalty.
And this was a political assassination.
Today, authorities laying out a detailed timeline of Belter's movements early Saturday morning, saying he first went to the home of Democratic State Senator John Hoffman, arriving in an SUV with a fake police license plate and emergency lights flashing. They say he approached the door shouting, "This is the police."
When Belter lowered his flashlight,
Impersonating a law enforcement officer, that's another fucking charge right there.
which he had shined in their face, they realized that he was not a police officer. They shouted out, "You're not a cop. You're not a police officer." Belter then announced, "This is a robbery," and forced himself into their home.
Hoffman's wife revealing they were each shot at least 8 times, adding they're incredibly
Christ.
lucky to be alive. According to court documents, at 2:24, Belter arrived at the home of another state rep, but she wasn't home, so he left. 12 minutes later, he showed up at a third lawmaker's home. A police officer was already there conducting a wellness check when she approached Belter.
Belter did not respond. According to the officer, he just sat there and stared straight ahead.
Belter then drove to the home of State Rep Melissa Hortman. He arrived around...
Wait. What? Wait, I misunderstood the details. Wait. He went to a second home. They didn't arrest him. And then he went to a third home where he actually killed? Wait, no fucking shot. So he goes in to the first lawmaker's home, shoots them. Luckily, they survived somehow, despite being shot 8 times.
According to court documents, at 2:24, Belter arrived at the home of another state rep.
Goes to another state rep's home. She's not home. That's home number 2.
But she wasn't home, so he left. 12 minutes later, he showed up at a third lawmaker's home, and a cop is already there conducting a wellness check. Bro, at first, listen, chatters, remember when I at first said, I am going to hand it to the cops for at least having the wherewithal to go to each lawmaker in the vicinity and their homes to do a wellness check because they knew that like a lawmaker had been shot? I'm afraid I'm going to have to take that back. I'm taking it back. That is
fucking sane? Are you fucking joking? You saw a suspicious dude impersonating a law enforcement officer when there was already details that someone impersonating a law enforcement officer was shooting lawmakers. You're there to check the fucking scene at 2:36 a.m.
Baker's home, a police officer was already there conducting a wellness check when she approached Belter.
Belter did not respond.
A cop approached this dude who had already shot and luckily could not kill, but shot two people, a lawmaker and his wife. And he just weirdly was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And you just let him go? Was he wearing the mask too?
According to the officer, he just sat there and stared straight ahead.
Belter then drove to the home of State Rep Melissa Hortman. He arrived around 3:30 a.m., according to the documents, with police officers pulling up around the same time.
When Belter saw the officers get out of the car, he drew his weapon and began firing. He repeatedly fired into the house. And when he entered, he murdered Representative Hortman and her husband.
I'm sorry. What the fuck are you saying? So then by the time this happens, he's at the fourth house and the cops arrive. He pulls his gun out, starts shooting at him. They don't do anything in return. He runs into the house and actually assassinates the Democratic lawmaker and her husband. How is that? What are cops doing? Are they just there and not, like, I feel like the average person in that situation would be a more threatening presence than fucking law enforcement officers. Like, the average person would have been like, yo, this is weird. At the third house, they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you fucking doing? What, is it just like because he looks like a cop? Is that what it is? Like, I cannot comprehend what took place here. I don't understand how the first cop let him go. I don't understand how the second cop, they shot. Like, he shot at them and they were like, well, he's a white guy. He probably was threatened. Like, how does this make any sense? He shot at the cops, walked into the house, killed the fucking lawmaker and her husband, and then was able to escape on foot. Bro was wearing the mask when she talked to him and let him go. That's why they keep calling the mask hyper-realistic. What?
Mark.
Belter fled on foot.
He repeatedly fought a car. He drew his weapon.
Same time.
Look, when Belter saw the officers get out of the car.
Like, he was arriving at the fourth house at the same time as the cops were. He sees the cops arriving. He's not in the house yet. He starts opening fire on the cops.
He drew his weapon and began firing. He repeatedly fired into the house. And when he entered, he murdered Representative Hortman.
Wait, oh, what? He saw the cops arrive on scene and started opening fire into the house. He fired into the house and then he entered the house. He didn't even shoot at the cops. Why didn't the cops shoot at him? Why didn't they shoot him?
Pulling up around the same time.
When Belter saw the officers get out of the car, he drew his weapon and began firing. He repeatedly fired.
He began firing, I assume, at the cops. And then he began firing into the house.
Into the house. And when he entered...
And then he entered the house and he killed the lawmakers.
He murdered Representative Hortman and her husband, Mark.
Belter fled on foot. He returned to his home at some point that morning, according to the court documents, and texted his family, "Dad went to war last night." It read, "I don't want to say any more because I don't want to implicate anybody." The documents say he later bought an e-bike and a Buick from a stranger at a bus stop. Finding that abandoned Buick and Belter's cowboy hat along a rural highway on Sunday was a major break, officials say, which helped lead to Belter's arrest.
I need to see the body camera. I need to see the body camera of what fucking took place. I need to see the body camera of the first cop that let him go because he was wearing the fucking mask apparently. And I need to see the body camera of the second or the last cop. How the fuck he opened fire on the cops and they didn't do shit? How is that possible? And then he just fled on foot? How the fuck does that make any sense?
Maggie Vespa joins us now live. So, Maggie, have we learned any more about Belter's wife and what police found in her car?
Yeah, Tom, we have. That affidavit also unveiled that law enforcement searched Jenny Belter's car on Saturday, finding in it, documents say, 2 handguns, roughly $10,000 cash, and passports for her and her kids who were in the car with her at the time. Now, law enforcement has since stressed Jenny Belter was cooperative. She was never detained. We have reached out to her, and we haven't yet heard back.
You're not... What? You're not even investigating if she's involved at all? In spite of the fact that she had passports in the car? Well, I'm not saying, like, arrest her permanently, but, like, not even a little bit of an investigation to be like, so what's up? Like, why are you escaping? This looks like you're escaping. What's... Dude. Handguns, passports, and $10,000. I get stopped with passports in the car, handguns, and $10,000 on a fucking busted taillight. I'm getting detained. Okay? I'm 100% getting detained. And I'm not directly tied to a fucking assassin. What is going on right now? Is it like if you're in Minnesota and you're white, they just let you do it? Like, what's happening? None of this makes sense. Am I crazy? I feel like is that the cheat code? You got to be white in Minnesota and they will literally be like, oh yeah, you're free to go, ma'am. It's actually illegal to do crimes in Minnesota as a white person. Brother, the Hogs are saying the cops aren't investigating her because she interned for Tim Walz. She didn't. What? What? They're saying she also interned for Tim Walz? Everyone is tied back to Tim Walz is what the Republicans think. Thread from a local summing up all the weird inconsistencies. How does this account jive with the account of the New Hope police officer going to check on a New Hope politician and bumping into Baylor there before he went to Hortman's home, and the giant photo of the sergeant? Come on, y'all. Unapologetic propaganda from the Star Tribune, even with conflicting official information out there to discount this. They're going to just keep rolling with this shameful, incredible story of instinct and courage from the Brooklyn Park, Sergeant Riley Norton, and other responding officers. Their swift action prevented an even greater tragedy and led to the suspect's arrest. What do you mean? This is a sequence of so many incompetent cops that this literally feels like it's a setup of some sort. Strait of Hormuz right now. Also, they didn't even fucking find the cop. What is happening in the Strait of Hormuz? Among Democrats, do you support Democrats like Sanders and AOC who call for more aggressive stance towards Trump, or moderate Democrats who are willing to compromise with Trump on issues important to their base? AOC Bernie, 70%, moderate Dems, 30%. Harvard-Harris poll. What? The post has been deleted. NASA firms shows current fire in the Gulf of Oman near the Strait of Hormuz. No similar activity detected in the previous days. What? We don't know yet, I don't think. 3 separate heat signatures on firms, albeit closely spaced together. Could be anything. There's a picture. It's true. Developing suspect's wife who helped run their security firm appears to have worked as an intern for former Representative Tim Walz. No, this isn't true. Wait, why are they, this is not true. It's a different person with the same last name, right? I don't think this is even true. Even if it was true, who gives a fuck? The dude wanted to kill Tim Walz. Someone with the same name as his wife interned for Walz for 1 college semester. If it was her, she would have been in her 40s at the time. But even if it was literally her, who gives a fuck? The guy was clearly trying to assassinate Tim Walz as well. U.S. Air Force B-1B bomber just left the U.S., not looking good at all. What? Its appearance on public radar is highly unusual and likely deliberate. This could possibly be a show of force as opposed to the tankers and cargo lists we saw earlier. They have bombers in Diego Island. This is way too far for a B-1 to travel. 3 ships on fire at the Gulf of Oman near the Strait of Hormuz. What? Dude, this is unverified at this moment. Stop sending me like every dumb shit that happens in the region that you think is happening in the region. Okay. Something strange is going on with this situation. Both strange in terms of like the police response being more incompetent than what you would normally expect, like a sequence of actions that took place that are very weird, like letting him go when they're supposedly on high alert. Read page 3. This is the official narrative of Belter from the courts. Complainant has investigated the facts and circumstances. Champlain police officers responded to a shooting at the residence. 911 caller reported that a masked person had come to the door and then shot their parents. Inside the residence, officers found 2 adults, male and female, who had been shot. Video surveillance footage from the exterior of the residence showed a Ford SUV with the police-style lights parked in the driveway of the residence. It also showed a man later identified as defendant Vance Luther Belter wearing a mask and a blue shirt and a police-style tactical vest with a badge and a yellow grip gun. Approached the front door with a flashlight. Defendant knocked on the door and announced himself as a police officer before entering the house and shooting victims 3 and 4. Surveillance video footage showed defendant flee the residence and enter the police-style vehicle. Victim 3 and victim 4 are currently alive and remain hospitalized. Short time later, Brooklyn Park Police Department learned of the shooting in Champlain. Because one of the victims is a state legislator, police proactively sent patrol officers to the home of another state legislator in Brooklyn Park, Hennepin County, Minnesota. When officers arrived approximately at 3:35 a.m., they saw a Ford SUV with police-style lights and immediately saw a defendant, still dressed as a police officer, shoot an adult man referred to herein as Victim 2 through the open door of the home. Police exchanged gunfire with the defendant, who fled inside the residence before escaping the area. Inside the residence, officers found 2 adults deceased from gunshot wounds, Victim 2 and his wife, Victim 1. Victim 1 is also a state legislator. Officers searched defendant's vehicle, located at least 3 AK-47 assault rifles, a 9mm handgun, as well as a list of names and addresses of other public officials. Officers canvassed the surrounding area, located a ballistic vest. How did he escape? Also, what about the third person? Like, what about the third cop? Or the second cop? He bought an electric bicycle and eventually a vehicle off a random person. I saw that part. You're looking at the warrant, not the affidavit. Anyway, not only is the fucking situation strange, there's photos in this. I don't want to... What kind of photos are in here? Oh, just the mask photo. Oh, they have images from the fucking Hope Police Department dash camera footage. At approximately 2:36, officer encountered a man now believed to have been Belter sitting in the driver's seat of a black SUV parked down the street from public official 2's home. Officer believed that the SUV, which resembled a squad car, was equipped with a police-style light bar, was in fact law enforcement officer providing protection for public official 2. The cop thought he was a cop. The officer reported that the individual sitting in the black SUV was a bald white male, so he was wearing the mask. The officer tried to speak with that man, but he continued staring straight ahead and did not respond. The officer drove the rest of the distance to public official 2's residence, saw no signs of distress, and waited there until additional law enforcement joined her. By the time they did, the dark SUV had left the area. And then he went at around 3:30 a.m. Local law enforcement, having learned of the shooting at Senator Hoffman's home, went to the home of Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman in Brooklyn Park. Upon arriving, law enforcement saw a black Ford Explorer SUV parked outside the home. The black SUV resembled a law enforcement squad car equipped with police-style lights. The lights were on and flashing. The SUV's license plate had been replaced with a fake police license plate. The plate literally said police, yeah. I know. In Minnesota, I did not know this at the time as well. I thought it was really stupid. In Minnesota, cop cars do have, I mean, this is obviously fake, but cop cars, real cop cars do also have police as their license plate. Law enforcement arriving at Representative Hortman's home saw Belter dressed in dark color standing near the front door facing the house. Moments after their arrival on scene, Belter fired several gunshots in the house as he moved forward, entering the Hortman's home. In dash cam footage from the scene, moments after Belter fired those shots, he moved into the... Wait, so he didn't even shoot at the cops. He didn't even shoot at the cops. Moments after their arrival on scene, Belter fired several shots into the house as he moved forward. In the dash cam footage from the scene, moments after Belter fired those shots, he moved into the house. A second set of gunshots can be heard. At the same time, several flashes appear in the entryway windows. About the same time, officers moved forward to the home's front doorway where they saw Hortman lying on the floor. When officers entered the home, they found Representative Hortman suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Hortman family dog was gravely injured as well. Belter fled the Hortman's home, leaving behind Belter's 2015 Ford Explorer SUV. parked outside the house. After obtaining a warrant, officers searched that vehicle. I know from my training and experience that the Ford did not manufacture 2015 Explorers in the state of Minnesota. Officers found evidence tying Belter to the SUV, including a bill from the storage unit with Belter's name. They also found approximately 5 firearms in the SUV, including semi-automatic assault-style rifles, as well as a large quantity of ammunition organized into loaded magazines. They also found a medical kit containing wound treatment supplies, several eye masks of the kind that might be worn while sleeping. From the SUV, officers recovered several notebooks full of handwritten notes. Listed among the pages of the notebooks were the names of more than 45 Minnesota state and federal public officials, including Representative Hortman, whose home address was written next to her name. One of those notebooks contained lists of internet-based people, search engines, including True People Search, Spokio, People, People Finders, Been Verified, White Pages, Truth Finder, Intellius, Ownerly, U.S. Search, and People Looker. In addition, officers found that Garmin GPS navigation device in the SUV. Device's trip history included address of the Representative Hortman's home, Brooklyn Park. Upon searching the area, law enforcement found components of a disassembled Beretta 9mm semi-automatic handgun, at least 3 magazines strewn across the ground a few blocks from Representative Hortman's home. Dude, why the fuck do those websites even exist? But also, oh yeah, there's his face mask. Why do they not bring up the, yeah, okay, the dog died, guys. I know he killed the dog. Oh my God, I didn't know there were so many fucking white women in the chat. Calm down, I know. Okay, you have been going crazy over the guy shooting the dog. I know. What the fuck, man? Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but he killed people, okay? He also killed people. Don't hate on women. All Americans value dogs more than people. No, I agree. Anyway, not only is the story odd, the apprehension is even weirder, and is yet another, I guess, perfect demonstration of police incompetence. But outside of this, what is also alarming is the fact that every fucking right-wing outlet instantly locked in on the idea that this guy was right-wing, including but not limited to Mike Lee. Mike Lee first claimed that he was right-wing, and then after he was apprehended yesterday, he posted this shit. He said, "Nightmare on Wall Street." This is an American senator. Oh, sorry. Every outlet, every right-winger claimed that he was left-wing. I apologize. I misspoke. Every right-winger online claimed that this guy was a left-wing guy, including Mike Lee, who said he was a left-wing guy. And then after he was apprehended, he said, "Nightmare on Wall Street," making fun of Tim Walz, who was literally on the hit list. A top staffer to Senator Gina Smith emailed Mike Lee's top staffers on Monday about how much additional pain you've caused on an unspeakably horrific event. I don't think these guys care. Like, I think these guys are fucking animals, okay? The Mike Lee is a goddamn animal, dude. American senator making jokes about a Trump supporter killing Democratic lawmakers after spending the weekend falsely claiming the shooter was actually a Democrat. Clown country. Here he is.
Could you tell us about your conversation with Senator Smith? Do you regret your tweet? Do you stand by the post that you made on X?
Have you had a productive conversation about that post? Was that what the senator wanted to speak to you about?
What did you think of the meeting you just came from?
Tina Smith confronted him. She also then went on CNN to talk about the confrontation.
What did he have to say when you confronted him with that?
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't think this is a person who's used to being confronted. I don't think he's somebody who's used to being challenged, and I think he didn't quite know what to do. Approached him from a position of respect and wanting him to understand what I thought. And he didn't have that much to say. What he needs to do is he needs to apologize. I really think that he should take that post down. To indicate that somehow this was some sort of a Marxist leftist attack that causes violence is completely false. He's spreading that misinformation and he should correct that. I didn't get any of that from him earlier this evening, but I hope that what I said sunk in, and that he, as my mother used to say, words have consequences, and his words have a ton of consequence, and he should own that.
You went up and you said,
Tina Smith says, Mike Lee basically said, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings when confronted over his egregiously shameful post about the Horman assassination. Like, maybe it's my age, but I remember a time when I feel like if someone were to do something even a fraction as indecent as this, they would be ridiculed thoroughly and then maybe even forced to resign. I feel like the modern Republican Party is so far removed from humanity where it's just like, that's another day, baby. If anything, they celebrate it. Like, what the hell is going on here? He tweeted that the dude that was killing Democratic lawmakers was actually a Marxist, radical, leftist, whatever. And then he tweeted that the dude who actually had Tim Walz on his fucking target list, he made a joke about Tim Walz, saying Nightmare on Wall Street. Tim Walz is a friend to the fucking slain Democratic lawmaker and also was on the hit list. I see a lot of crazy nonsense. I'm a professional political commentator. I've been doing this for 12 years, and I've seen a whole bunch of crazy nonsense in my career. But stuff like this still pisses me off because it's just still so repulsive. And I do feel like this is a boundary breaking moment. Like, this is so, I don't even know what to say. It actually freaks me out a little bit how quickly the right jumped on this act of political violence, and even politicians, like right-wing politicians, without even any sort of sense of safety and security. Under normal circumstances, they will go, oh, wow, political violence is unacceptable, because like they're worried it might come to them too, you know what I mean? But like, even with the DePipe stuff, the David DePipe shit, like they didn't even give a fuck. They did this with him too, and Elon Musk was one of the major players in that. No more accountability at all. When there's political violence in Western democracies, traditionally treated as a somber event for everyone to come together. Deaths disappeared. The victims were gunned down, and just over a day ago, and a U.S. senator is mocking the event and hinting at a deranged conspiracy. Second U.S. senator promoting conspiracy theory, basically claiming the left for the shooting of the two Democratic lawmakers. I mean, what took place here is a Democratic lawmaker was slain, and many more were on the hit list, and one of them almost died. And you got politicians celebrating this shit. Now glaze Luigi, dog. This would be like if CNN was glazing Luigi. Are you fucking stupid? This would be like if politicians were glazing Luigi. Do you not understand? That would be an entirely different moment, don't you think? That's fair. Some of y'all are so one note. I swear to God, it's so strange. First of all, Luigi has already been fucking branded as a terrorist, and Pam Bondi has called for the death penalty. Okay? Also, you've been fucked over by guys like Brian Thompson. You know what I mean? A Minnesota Democratic lawmaker has done nothing to you. If anything, if you live in Minnesota, has probably improved your life. Like, there is also, a difference here. Luigi also didn't have like a fucking interest in going after additional, or maybe he did, I can't remember. Also, if Luigi did it, allegedly. That's not, I love your takes, but I don't understand why you're surprised by this. They've been on board with this shit for years. Don't you remember the Obama pinata? The conservatives put a noose around conservatives with no morals for a while now. He's tripling down. What the fuck? Dude, there's something strange in the water, man. Are Minnesota Dems any good? It's actually one of the best. The Minnesota, the Democratic Farmer Labor Party is unironically one of the examples that I have used over and over again about what the Democrats could do with a 50-50 split state legislature, with a 50-50 split House of Representatives and a Senate. Yeah, I feel like right-wingers got to be operating on a different fucking wavelength of confidence here to so openly entertain this kind of stuff. Like right-wing politicians. Yeah, Melissa Hortman, who this fucking asshole killed, was a important politician that played a formative role in pushing a lot of fucking great legislation in the state of Minnesota that I've routinely talked about in positive terms. Yeah, I have a whole video called "Here's How You Get Shit Done."
About Minnesota.
This is part of her legacy. Yeah, this guy also wanted to kill Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz, which makes it even crazier that they're like trying to tie him back to Tim Walz. Anyway, like I said this earlier, but there's no need for the CIA or NATO to do sophisticated influence campaigns and false flags anymore. Half the country literally believes the evangelical mercenary Trump supporter who shot Democratic politicians and had more on his hit list is actually woke because of this fucking website. Back in the day, right-wingers would look at this guy and realize his background seems federal and complain that this was a setup to make the right look bad by rogue FBI elements. Now they just repeatedly say woke Antifa until they start believing their own delusions. They just let him walk? No, they didn't let him walk. No, he's in jail. I guess they let him walk out of the house after he assassinated Melissa Hortman. But, yeah, this is, like, intense. We didn't even get to the Trump ramps up migrant crackdowns following ICE restrictions. There's also some potential oil tankers on fire in the Gulf of Oman, but they're unconfirmed, so I don't know why. I don't know why the fuck people are bringing that in here without any additional confirmation. Oof. All right, I'm done for the day, though. I'm so tired. This has been a ridiculous day. And tomorrow, I suspect, will be even more ridiculous. Hopefully, we haven't gone to war with Iran by then. Anyway, love you all. Peace in the Middle East. And goodbye. See you tomorrow. Okay.